We are 6 days into what history will likely call the 4-Day War, and already the history books need a rewrite. In the last 24 hours, 2 events occurred that shattered records held since the Cold War and World War II. First, in the skies above Tehran, an Israeli F-35 Adir scored the first ever air-to-air kill by a Lightning II against a manned aircraft. The Ghost finally has a body count. And second, thousands of miles away in the deep Indian Ocean, a U.S. Navy nuclear-attack submarine fired a shot in anger. A Mark 48 heavy torpedo broke the back of an Iranian frigate. This is the first time a U.S. submarine has sunk an enemy warship since 1945. We are watching first happen in real time. Let's start with the air war. On the morning of March 4th, air raid sirens wailed across Tehran. The Israeli Defense Forces later confirmed that their F-35 Adir had intercepted and splashed an Iranian aircraft. This is a huge milestone for the Joint Strike Fighter program. Since entering service in 2015, the F-35 has dropped bombs, it has shot down cruise missiles, and has killed drones. But it has never killed a pilot. Until now, for the Israeli Air Force, this is also historic. This is their first manned air-to-air kill in 40 years. You have to go back to November 1985, over Lebanon, when an Israeli F-15 Eagle downed 2 Syrian MiG-23. Since then, 40 years of bombing runs, but no dogfights. The streak is broken. Now, let's talk about the fight. If I call this a dogfight, I am being generous. This wasn't Top Gun. This was a SEAL clubbing. The victim was a Yak-130. If you are wondering why Iran sent a trainer jet to fight a 5th-generation stealth fighter, you are asking the right question. The Yak-130 Mitten is a Russian subsonic advanced jet trainer. It's designed to teach kids how to fly. Sure, it can carry a couple of heat-seeking missiles and act as a light attack aircraft for counterinsurgency, but its top speed is Mach 0.93. It can't even break the sound barrier. It has no radar worth mentioning. Against an F-35, it's a joke. The F-35 likely detected the Yak from 100 miles away. The Israeli pilot didn't need to turn, didn't need to maneuver. He likely just tapped a screen, authorized an AIM-120 AMRAAM or an Israeli Derby missile, and watched the blip disappear from his display. The Iranian pilot never knew he was in a fight. He likely just saw a lock warning light, tried to turn his subsonic trainer, and then turned into a fireball. This engagement proves one thing: desperation. The Iranian integrated air defense system is gone. The S-300 are smoking craters. The Bavar 373 are offline. Iran scrambling a trainer jet to defend the capital is the equivalent of throwing a rock at a tank. It means their air force has ceased to function as a coherent organization. This kill highlights the tragic state of the Iran Air Force. On paper, they have 230 combat aircraft. In reality, they run a flying museum. The backbone of their fleet, the F-14 Tomcats, F-4 Phantoms, F-5 Tigers, are relics from the Shah's era. They were bought from America in the 1970s. The fact that they fly at all is a testament to the genius of Iranian mechanics. But in modern war, mechanical genius doesn't stop an AMRAAM. In the first 48 hours of Operation Epic Fury, we saw almost 0 Iranian sorties. Why? Because the U.S. and Israeli electronic warfare attacks were so intense that Iranian pilots were blind. Their avionics are from the Nixon administration. They have no data links, no advanced radar warning receivers. No chance. Most of their F-4 and F-5 were likely destroyed on the ground before they could even taxi. And the Su-35? Iran ordered Russian Su-35 flankers years ago. But due to production delays and geopolitical mess, they haven't been integrated in significant numbers, so they pushed the Yak-130 into the gap. It was a suicide mission ordered by a command structure that had run out of options. If the air war was a mismatch, the naval war was execution. Let's move from the skies of Tehran to the deep waters of the Indian Ocean. The Pentagon has confirmed that a Virginia-class or Los Angeles-class attack submarine engaged an Iranian surface combatant in international waters. The weapon? A Mark 48 heavyweight torpedo. This is huge. The U.S. Navy hasn't torpedoed an enemy ship since the submarine USS Torsk sank 2 Japanese frigates on August 14, 1945. We have fired cruise missiles. We have engaged in skirmishes. But a submarine kill? That's history. The victim was the IRIS Dena. This was a Mudge-class frigate, the pride of Iran's southern fleet. Ironically, the Dena wasn't even in the war zone. It had been participating in the Milan 2026 naval exercises in India and was sailing home. The captain likely thought he was safe. He was thousands of miles from the Persian Gulf. He was in neutral waters. He was wrong. U.S. naval dominance is global. A nuclear submarine had likely been trailing him since he left port in India, waiting for the go code. When that code came, the sub fired. The Mk-48 doesn't just hit a ship, it breaks it. It is designed to detonate under the keel. The gas bubble lifts the ship out of the water, snapping the spine. Pentagon drone footage, which they release surprisingly fast, shows exactly that. The stern lifts, the hull snaps, and the Dena is gone in minutes. The Sri Lankan Navy responded to distress call, but by the time they arrived, there was only oil and debris. This sends a terrifying message to every nation on Earth. There is no rear area. If you are at war with the United States, your ships are targets whether they are in the Strait of Hormuz or the middle of the Indian Ocean. The battlefield is an entire planet. There was a moment of confusion during the Pentagon press briefing. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, in his classic blunt style, referred to the sunk ship as a Soleimani trophy. This confused reporters because Iran also lost a ship from the Shahid Soleimani class, a stealth catamaran, near Bandar Abbas. Was this a gaffe or a deliberate taunt? Hegseth quipped, "I guess our president killed Soleimani twice." It was a brutal reference to the 2020 drone strike that killed Qasem Soleimani, the namesake of the ship class. By conflating the Dena and the Soleimani, the U.S. is signaling total contempt for the Iranian Navy. They are saying, it doesn't matter what class of ship it was. It's on the bottom now. And he is right. The Iranian Navy has been annihilated, eliminated, and rendered ineffective. Those are Hegseth's words, and the satellite photos back him up. What are these two events? The air kill and the sub kill tell us about the future of war. First, the end of Top Gun. The F-35 kill confirms what analysts have said for years. The era of the turning fight is over. Movies like Top Gun, Maverick sell us a fantasy of pilots straining under G-force, looking over their shoulders. Real war is silent and distant. It is information dominance. If you are in a Yak-130 or a MiG-29 and you are fighting an F-35, you don't even know you are in a fight until you explode. The F-35 isn't a dogfighter. It's an executioner. It sees first, shoots first, and kills first. The Iranian pilot died because his technology was 3 generations behind. Second, the end of the safe zone. The submarine kill redefines the battle space. In previous conflicts, we thought of the box, the area where the fighting happens. The sinking of the Dena in the Indian Ocean destroys the box. The U.S. demonstrated global reach. They showed that they can surgically remove a specific asset anywhere in the world without deploying a carrier strike group nearby. A single submarine is a strategic checkmate. Iran tried to play an asymmetric game, using cheap drones and proxies to hurt the West. The West responded with full-spectrum dominance. We showed that while you can annoy us with drones, we can delete your Navy and Air Force with the push of a button. It is a reminder that in a high-intensity conflict, high-tech still matters. Operation Epic Fury has been a revelation. In 72 hours, the U.S. and Israel have dismantled a regional military power. They broke a 40-year streak of air combat silence and an 80-year streak of submarine inactivity. We are witnessing the unboxing of a U.S. military machine. For 20 years of the war on terror, we fought insurgents with rifles. People forgot what it looks like when a superpower fights a state. This is what it looks like. Iran is blind, deaf, and sinking. The Yak-130 and the IRIS Dena are just footnotes now, but they represent the end of the post-Cold War era. We are back to great power mechanics. Stealth fighters killing jets. Nuclear subs sinking warships. So, here's the question I leave you with. With the Iranian conventional military shattered and their supreme leader dead, what comes next? Will the IRGC collapse? Or will the surviving hardliners resort to the only card they have left? The nuclear option? The next first might not be an air-to-air kill. It might be a mushroom cloud. Let me know your predictions in the comments below.